been your teacher for the past 2 weeks. It has been nice to teach you guys. I hope that you are learning something from me. So today we are going to continue with our lesson, learning how to code using Misora. And as we do that, I just want to share the screen and just say that if a few mistakes happen today, please just bear with me. I'm using one screen only today, and I'm used to using two screens. So there's just a few things that may not happen as speedily as we have been doing before. As I said, my name is Mr. Afikile Sikwebu, and my email address is afikile@africateengeeks.co.za. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, you can ask me on that. You can send me an email and I will do well to answer you on time. Usually I answer my emails on time. So if you do send an email, you will definitely be getting an answer from me. So that is for those who have been doing projects and maybe they got stuck somewhere and they would need help with those projects. So yeah, do give me a call, not a call, do send me an email and then I will gladly help you in getting your projects correct. I'm a teacher at Linkside High School in Port Elizabeth. And yeah, so today, as we recap, we want to look at what we did last week. In fact, on Friday, so Thursday and Friday, we completed a game. We called it a space game. Uh, we had uh, we had a few aircrafts or spaceships, and we had to shoot these spaceships down. And we coded the spaceship, we coded a bullet, we coded a booby trap, and then we basically made this game that was playing for us. And I hope that everybody was able to finish it. And if there's any questions based on that, you can please ask them at the end of the lesson. And so today we are going to, as we recap, that looked at nested if then else blocks. It looked at changing values of variables, and it looked at using random numbers in Misora. There's quite a few random numbers that we used, and that is what we had a look at on Friday and Thursday. And then today, what we are going to look at is how to create a clone of yourself in Misora. So let's say you have a Sprite, and whenever something happens to let's say you are creating a game. So whenever something happens, you want your Sprite to clone itself or to create a clone of itself. So that's what we are going to do today. Now, working with clones can be tricky sometimes. So if mistakes do happen, it's fine. We are learning together. And the clones sometimes like to act with their own minds. So please do bear with us as we learn once again together. And then we are going to also learn how it is that the computer knows when you have pressed the mouse. So we will use the when mouse is down code, and also we are going to look at how to use the AND block. You'll remember before we said before we had been using the OR block. Today we are going to use the AND. You will then have time to ask all your questions at the end as we finish up later on. So let's just log in together. I hope everybody else has also logged in. I just want to bring up a browser. So let me share my browser. All right. So I hope that we have all logged in. I'm just going to log out just for the sake of those who have not logged in yet. Then when you are in misora.co.za, you can then click on log in. You will use your details to log in. Then when you have logged in, it will take you to your dashboard. You will then click on blocks. Okay, that shouldn't be happening. Okay, so please just hold 1 second for me. Let me try that again. Okay, just hold 1 second for me. I'll be with you now. Okay, tell me, is everybody else able to log into Misora? Everybody has everybody been able to log in? Okay. All right, that's fine. What I'm going to use a different one. I'm not you can log in from your side. I'm glad that everybody has logged in. It's not logging in from my side. So I will use the software to log in. So I'm going to use this software to log in because I can't log in from my computer. All right, so what we're going to do first today is to ask you guys, has anyone done a project that they want to show us? Anyone who's done a project and they say, I would like to showcase this project to everybody else? Okay, I guess no one has done so, or people are shy to do that. That's okay. So we have we have someone who says they are new, and I hope that there are other new people that are new so that they can learn with us. So what I'm going to do today, first of all, before we get down to coding, I'm just going to do a brief rundown of what our interface looks like so that they are not lost as they are learning alongside with us. So we have, by the way, you are welcome if you are new here. So we have the interface in front of us, and I hope that it is open with on your side as well. And we have our blocks here, our coding blocks on these tabs. We have the code tab, we have the backdrops tab, we have the sounds tab. As this one suggests, it is for when you want to work with sounds in Misora. This one is for when you want to work with the background. You want to design your own background in Misora. You can design your own background, and you will see that whatever you do here, it will be extended onto the other side. So that's this one. This tab is for the backdrops when you want to design your own backdrops. All right. Then we have the code section where all our code stays, where we keep where all our code is kept. Now, backdrops do not have any code. So whenever you see that there's no code under motion, it's because a backdrop cannot be moved. A backdrop does not move. That's why it doesn't have any motion blocks. We then also have looks where, let me just select a sprite so that we can see what the entire thing looks like. So you have motion, which is to cause the sprite to move. We have looks, which changes how the sprite looks also. And if you want the sprite to speak, we have sounds. If you want your sprite, this is what we call a sprite. If you want your sprite to make a sound, we have events which trigger something for the sprite to do. We then have control, which makes a decision that is based on something in your code. So we will see how these work when we design our project together. We have sensing, and sensing does things like checking for a particular color, or checking if something is touching the mouse, or checking whether the mouse is in a certain position. So that is what the sensing does. We have then operators, which uses our maths operators like plus, your minus, your equal sign, your greater than or equal sign, and other maths operators. And then we have variables where we can create our own block, our own, a variable we said is a placeholder. It is just a container that holds values inside of it. So we can use these blocks to work with variables, or to work with a placeholder, all right? Then finally, we can create our own block. If you want to create a special block that is going to do something that is special for you, you can create that block here, all right? So that is what it looks like. And on this side, we can choose sprites such as this one. And then we can also choose backdrops different to what we have designed here. And then in this section, you have the name of your sprite. You can either show or you can hide your sprite. You have the position. So each of the sections here in the screen, in this screen, each of the points in the screen, it has an X and a Y position. And maybe something that I did not mention to us before is that if you look at this sprite, for instance, the position for it, the X position is -1. So it will take this point. So it takes this point as your current position. It doesn't take the head. It doesn't take the stomach. It doesn't take the leg. It takes the point that is, that I would say, the bottom right hand side of your sprite. So it takes that as the current position. If I moved this here, this position here is -100. Okay, so just take note of that. It always looks at the bottom right-hand corner of your sprite. That is the position for the X and the position for the Y. And then also, finally, you can change its size, all right, by changing this value here. And suppose, finally, you can also change the direction that it is looking at. Okay, so that is just a quick rundown of what our interface looks like. All right, so what we then also you can file, if you go to file, you can also save your project. You can also load a new project. You can also load a project that you had saved before by going to file, load, or save to your computer. All right, so that is what we have been doing so far. All right. And so what we are going to do today, as I said, we are going to work with creating clones of our sprite. And we are going to do that by designing a simple game. All right. So we just basically going to design a simple game. And at the end of the game, or at the end of today's lesson, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask us to design a game together. So I'm going to perhaps ask that we are all unmuted and we are going to have fun and design something together. You will tell me what to do and I will just do what you guys tell me. All right. So The thing that we are going to do, as I said, we are going to have we are going to create clones of our sprites. Now, we want a game where we have balls that fall. So I'm going to have balls that keep falling. Let me delete this one. Let me just put a new sprite, anyone. Okay, so we have a ball that is falling. So we need a ball. Let me take this one. Okay, so the ball is just going to fall, and it's going to keep falling from a random position. So it doesn't necessarily have to come from somewhere. It will come at a random position, from a random position. And we are going to do things that we haven't done really before. So the second thing I'm going to have a magic wand. So let me look for a magic wand. Okay, there's a magic wand. So we have this magic wand here, which we are going to use for this game. So let me try and also, sorry, let me try and change how it is. I want to make it this way, up. All right. So what you can do, if you also want to follow with us, we have selected a magic wand and go to costumes. When you are in costumes, click the selector tool, which is this arrow here. Then highlight everything. Highlight the entire magic wand, including these two electric bolts here. Then, oh, my mouse has stopped working now. Then you can just rotate it according to how you want it to be. All right, so we've got that. Then what we are going to do is to start writing the code for our magic wand. So we want our magic wand that when the flag is clicked, so we are going to take a hat block in events. When the flag is clicked, what then must happen? We want the magic wand to follow our mouse cursor. So wherever the mouse goes, the magic wand must just continue, must follow the cursor. So what we will do is that we will say when the flag is clicked, we also want this following to happen all the time. So we will say forever. And then forever what? We'll say forever go to the mouse pointer. All right. So let me just make this bigger. We say when the flag is clicked, forever go to the mouse pointer. So now if I click the flag, you will see that the magic wand follows the mouse pointer. Okay, so the magic wand continues following the mouse pointer wherever the magic wand goes, even though I haven't pressed I haven't clicked on the magic wand. Wherever I go, wherever this cursor goes, the magic wand follows behind it. Okay, everybody done with that? Suppose that is a yes. Then the next thing that I want to do is that once again, I want, when I've clicked the flag, something else must happen, all right? And I want to make a clone of the ball. So when I click the flag, I want this ball to be cloned. So I'm going to then go to control. Is it in control? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to say when the flag is clicked, immediately create a clone of this ball. Okay. Now, if I click the flag, see now there's two balls. So if I click the flag again, there's three balls. So what happens is this now. If you look at it, let's look at the code. If I click the flag, it will create a clone of this ball. If I click again, it will always create a clone of the original ball, and then the clone will stay behind. All right, the clone will stay where if you move the original ball, the clone will stay where the ball was cloned. So that is what we have done here. So when I click the flag, it must create a clone of this ball. And so that is what is happening here. We then want this thing to happen forever. So we'll take a forever loop and we'll place it there. And then we also want that a new clone of this ball must be created after a certain time. So we are saying now, when I've clicked the flag, you will forever first wait for 1 second. And then after you've waited for 1 second, create a clone of the ball. Okay, I hope I am slow enough. If I am going fast, please do let me know. And if I am slow enough, please just give me a thumbs up in the chat section so that I know I am going the right pace for all of us. Okay, so now, but what we want is that we don't want to wait 1 second all the time, because we will know we will know exactly the time the new ball is going to come. So we want to we want to wait a random number of time, a random amount of time, sorry. So we'll say you must choose between 0 seconds, 0.0 seconds, and 1 second. Okay. So the reason now we are saying 0.0 to 1.0 is so that it will take any number of seconds between 0 and 1. So it can take 0.5 seconds or half a second. It can take 0.9 seconds. You know, it doesn't have, if we say 0 and 1, it is always going to take 1 second. But if we say 0.0, it will even take the numbers between 0 and 1, which is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and so forth. So the balls are all going to come at after a different time. Okay, that is what this code is going to do here. So now if we click the flag, nothing happens. It just, sorry, not nothing happens. It basically just keeps, after every 0.0 to 1 second, it creates a new clone. Okay, a new clone of the original. All I do now is to just go and take it and place it wherever I want it to be at. So after every 0.1 second, clearly it stopped creating the clones now. All right. But you see what is happening. This is the original. You see? Okay, no, I'm lying. That was the original. Okay. So you see what happens? Then it just continues to create clones. All right. So now we have this ball creating a clone of itself. So we are done with this guy here. We need now to come and fix the code for this guy this time. So what we are going to do, we are going to, we are done with the code for the magic wand. We want to create the code for this guy here, the ball. All right. So what we do is that we are going to say now, you can see here, it says when the flag is clicked, create a clone of myself, of the ball, sorry. So create a clone of the ball. Now that the clone on the other side has been created, we want to go to the ball, and you will remember before we used the head block, which is when the flag is clicked, but this time we are going to use another block. Let's go and look for it, which is called when, where is this thing now? When it's supposed, it's there, if you find when I start as a clone, use that. When I start as a clone. Where is this thing? When, okay, it's under control, when I start as a clone. So now the ball says, when I start as a clone, what must happen to me? You'll remember this side we are saying, create a clone of a ball. And it creates the clone of a ball, even though that we haven't clicked the flag. So it creates a clone of the ball. And then this ball comes and says, well, what must happen to me when I start as a clone? The first thing that we want to happen is that we want the clone to be hidden. So the clone must be hidden. That is the first thing must happen. The clone must hide. Then secondly, when the clone is hidden, it must go to a random position on the screen. So we are going, excuse me, I'm choking now. We must go to a random position on the screen, but instead of using this go to random position, we are going to go and use go to X minus 94 and Y 22. So that this just tells us where the ball is currently. But what we want then is to say, go to the X position, or this X, the X which is left to right, it must be between, let's say, minus 180 to, let's see how far this thing is. Actually, let's make it minus 220 and 220. So it must not go beyond the edges of our screen, and then the Y must not go above 180. Okay, so we got that. It will then go to any random position of our choice, but now it's hidden. So it's hidden now, so we won't see it. Then the next thing that we want to do is that it must show itself. After it's hidden, after it's hidden and it's gone to a random position, it must show itself. Then you see now. Okay, so we've got that. It is going to come at the top. It is coming from there, and it is not going beyond the edges. All right. Then after it's shown, when it's showing itself, we want the ball to keep falling. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a loop. We are used to using this forever loop, and we have been using it. And I think we have used forever repeat And we've also used repeat until. So we are going to use this one now. Okay, so we are going to repeat whatever is inside this code or this block. So what we want to do is that we are going to say repeat change y by -5. Let's say -5 for now to make it slower. Okay, but repeat change y till by -5. Can you see what happens is that it moves along the top edge. Okay, so what do we want to repeat repeat until what? So we are going to say repeat until y position, which is top to bottom. Y position is less than -180. So it must keep falling. What have I done wrong? Because it's supposed to go down. What have I done wrong? Okay. Let's see. If we do this, -180, 180. Okay, let me just check what am I doing wrong. All right, let's move and then we'll fix that. So repeat until y equals -180. Change y by -5, yes. Okay, let's say if mouse down. So now what we want to do is that we want to check if the mouse has been clicked. That's what we are going to do now. But I just want to just double check what is going on here before we move on. When I start as a clone, hide, go to X, pick random position, -80 to 180, y equals 180, yes. Show, repeat until y is less than 180, yes. That should be fine. Anyone who sees what I've done wrong here, who wants to give it a try? Why is it going that way? Okay, let's move. I'm going to, if it doesn't come right by the end of the lesson, I'm going to try a different method. When I did this, it worked fine. So we say if mouse down. So now we want to sense, has the mouse been pressed? So am I pressing on the mouse? That's what we want to do. So if mouse down, but also, we also want to check if this ball is touching the magic wand. So we want to say if the mouse is down and I'm also holding on to the magic wand, something must happen, all right? So we'll say if mouse down and touching magic wand, both of these conditions must be true. You will remember we said if one of them must be true, we are going to use an or because we want to choose whichever one is true. But now we want the mouse to be pressed and also this ball to touch the magic wand. We want both of them to be correct. So we are going to say and. So we'll say if mouse down and you are touching the mouse pointer. And whichever one comes first, doesn't matter. It will just check first, am I touching the mouse pointer? If the answer is yes, it's going to say, okay. And am I also pressing the mouse? If the answer is yes, only then will it do this code. If the answer is no, that I am not touching the mouse pointer, but my mouse is pressed, it's just going to go out and start the code again. All right, so then if it's touching the mouse pointer and it is I'm pressing the mouse, it must hide it. So that one has been caught. It must hide it. That is the first thing that must happen. It must hide that sprite that has been caught. And then it must delete that clone. Where is delete clone? So that clone must be hidden and then it must be deleted so that it doesn't exist in our game anymore. We start with a fresh new clone. All right. And that will happen when this ball has reached minus 180. It must be deleted. Oh, sorry. It must happen if I click on it, it must be deleted. And also what we want to do is that if it reaches minus 180, it must also be deleted. Okay, so not only must it be deleted when I've touched it, it must also be deleted when I've reached minus 180. But what I'm going to do is that what I want you to do when you are editing, I want you to create a variable that you are going to call score. If you want to, you can call it score, but you can call it whatever you want. And with that variable, I want you to count the number of balls you have managed to click. Count the number of balls that you have managed to click, and also have another one that counts the number of balls that escape you from clicking them. All right, so let's see. It's still doing this thing. Why? Why is it changing that way? Okay, let me see. All right, let me take this apart and let me stop here. Let me take that apart and let's say change Y. No, I'm lying. Why is it doing this? Go to minus X, minus 80. Okay. Let me just check something. Why is it moving this way? Why is it moving that way? All right, let's debug together. Repeat until Y position is less than 180. Change Y, change X. Okay. This is supposed to be change Y. Okay, it's supposed to be change Y by minus 5. Okay, so we can place our things back together. Okay, so it was change Y by minus 5. That's what I did. I did something else. We repeat until this position is less than 180. Okay, so now let's fix this now because, okay. Now what we need to fix is because now this clone keeps stopping. So now let's see first if it's going to work. Okay, let's make it bigger. Okay, my mouse is not working now. Okay. Let's see. Let's make it a bit slower. Let's make it slower. Okay. Okay, so yeah, now it's working. So what we are going to do, let's see if we can get this one to move also. Oh, by the way, before we get that to move, is everybody else one, is there anyone whose one doesn't work? Okay, no one. Thank you, Nuria. I see it was, you got that answer why it was not working. It's just that I did not see my phone that you had answered me. Thank you for that. I think you are the one, you got it correct. So it was because I said change X and not change Y. So thank you for that. Thank you for your try. So does everybody's one is working also? No one's code is not working. Okay, super. So we can move on. I can remove these two, I can remove them. And let's see, why is it starting here? Okay, now let's read our code again together. So when I start as a clone, hide, okay, go to this position. Okay, so this code talks about the clone only. So what we can do is to try, let's have a code that is going to cause this ball to also move on its own. So let's take this and place it here. Now I'm fixing something that was working on my offline project. It was working fine. So what I'm going to do, let's do this. Okay. Let's see if we can, I want to get this ball to work. When flag is clicked. Someone says Nuria should be the top student for getting that. Okay. So let's, when flag is clicked, repeat until Y position. Okay. Okay. Then let's have an if here so that this ball also will go to the top. If Y position is less than, equal to minus 182, then it must go to the top. Go to random position and then also set Y, must not make a mistake, to 180. Let's see now if it's going to work. No, man, what am I doing now? Repeat until Y is less than, let's leave it at 180. Okay, let me do this. Let me use this loop. If Y equals, let's say, now it's 187 minus 187. Okay, let's have two conditions. Okay, let's see. More problems. So sometimes as you will have seen in the past 2 weeks, you can do code And when you go to bed, it is working. And when you wake up in the morning, it is not working. This is exactly a picture of what has happened. Okay, so now it works. But now, why is it starting there? Okay, let's make this 220. Okay, but anyway, all I wanted is that this ball must not stop in one, must not be in one place. So let's see. Okay, Lopi, I will answer you. So now we can see no ball is stopping in one place. They are all able to move. Okay. So what I want to give you as homework, I want you to have a variable that will count how many balls you have been able to click, and also have a variable that counts how many balls have made it to the bottom of the screen. And we will share that code together tomorrow. So whoever has done that will be able to share it with us. If you are shy to speak, um, you can just show us your code working and we'll tell you whether it is correct or needs to be helped a bit. So Nuria says she can't see the ball code. There is the ball code. Do you need this one or the one at the top? Okay, so there it is working perfectly now. Okay, so every ball that I click on, it disappears and it creates a new clone of my original ball, and no ball goes and gets stuck in the in space. So that is it for this game, and I hope that you guys were all able to follow. Okay. I hope that all of you guys were able to follow, and you are going to do the homework that I gave to you guys. So two things. One thing first. The first one is, do you guys have any questions concerning today's project? I see Keshav, your question there, but is there anyone who has any question regarding today's lesson? I can unmute you if you have a question regarding today's lesson. Okay, Lopi.
No, sir. I wasn't asking a question. I was just talking about how I can fit one of the blocks inside of the end block, the touching the mouse pointer block.
Oh, okay. So the top one, ne?
Yes.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But I still can't fit it.
You can't fit it.
Yes.
Now, okay. So work with me. The first thing that you need to go to operators. Why does this thing move? You go to operators.
Yes.
Okay. Then you get the end block. Let me just stop this. You get the end block.
Yes.
All right. You then get the touching
Okay.
instancing. If touching mouse, do you have that?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Right. So it's fine now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, cool. I will take Keshav.
So
Yes.
about the updates on Amazora, I can't seem to save my projects.
Can't seem to save your projects. Okay. I will follow up on that. You have my email address. can you please just send me an email? And then when I have followed that up, I will be able to then send you an email regarding the update. Please do that for me.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay then. Haja,
Sir, can you please show me the magic wand code? Because I'm not yet finished.
oh, the magic one. Okay, there it is. And thanks to those guys who logged into the talks on Friday and Saturday. I heard some of your voices there, and I was like, that person is in my class. So, okay, any more questions? Nope. Okay. So will you guys try to create the variables to count the score, to count first how many balls you are able to touch, and also how many balls you have not touched. So that will be your homework. Okay, Haja, I hope you have done.
Good. No.
Okay, so in conclusion for today's lesson, we saw today how to work with clones. We said that a sprite can clone itself, or can create a clone of itself, can multiply itself to another sprite based on a particular condition. And we said here, for instance, when you click this flag, you must wait for this number of seconds, and then it must create a clone. So what we can do to see, we can say, after 1 second, it must create a clone. So it only creates a clone after 1 second. We then saw also that for that code of creating a clone to work, it must also have its own head block that when I start as a clone, then this code must happen. All right. So we saw how to create a clone of a sprite, and we also saw how you can make sure that your project senses when you click on the mouse. Sorry, when you click the mouse, yes. So when the mouse is clicked, your project is able to sense that. So that was what we're able to achieve today, and I hope that it was clear as daylight to everyone. So for Keshav, let me just stop the recording. So Keshav, you are saying that you want the link for the certificate. Please also send me an email. I'm going to write my email. Send me an email. I will send the link to you. Or if Mr. Host, if you have that link for the certificate, please please just put it in the link below, in the chat section, sorry. I'm just writing my email for you. Okay, so that is Africa Teen Geeks, not AFT. So just please make that correction. It's AFR, Africa Teen Geeks, not AFT. All right. I've put it in the chat section. Any more questions? Any more questions before we end the session? No questions. All right. Thank you very much for attending today's session. So what we're going to do, wait before you go buying. Wait. Um, Tomorrow, the first thing that we are going to do, we're going to take 3 people. If there's other people more than the 3 people that say they want to share their project, they can do that. But we'll take, thank you for, there's the link. We'll take 3 people, and I'm going to ask those 3 people to share their screens. And please don't be afraid, join in today, tomorrow. I'm not going to choose anyone. So if there's anyone that says, I would like to share my screen, that's fine. You can share your screen. I'm not going to say so and so, please share your screen with us. So don't be afraid. I am not going to call out any person. You will share joining us today. I can then officially say goodbye. Then you can